So I have been really behind on making these videos, but I want to ask you guys to absolutely forgive me. But what we're going to do, we're going to address this comment. And let me say this, everyone is entitled to their opinion, okay? I am not the food police. I am just here telling you some things that I have heard. Some people prefer quinoa. Some people prefer rice. But this person states that quinoa, the glycemic load of quinoa is much lower due to protein and fiber, even though total carbs are similar. So let's talk about the glycemic load. So the glycemic load is a measure of how quickly and how much of a certain food item raises your blood sugar. So sure, if you're eating the same amount of rice versus the same amount of quinoa by itself, then depending on what type of rice it is, let me just go ahead and say that. Let's say for all intents and purposes, it's white rice. Then white rice is going to raise your blood sugar quicker. However, we do not eat in silos. When we eat food, we eat our starch, our protein, our healthy fats, and our fiber all together in a meal. Now, let's say hypothetically speaking that, you eat quinoa that has that protein and it has the fiber in there. But let's just say you eat rice and you pair it with the same number of fiber that is found in quinoa. Like, you find some vegetables to pair it with, and you pair it with some protein that is the same amount of protein, not much, from a different item that is the same amount of protein as quinoa. Guess what? Those two foods may interact the same. That's why I said earlier, quinoa is not necessarily better than rice, because you also have to take into consideration, use your thinking skills, you have to take into consideration what you are pairing it with. Additionally, two people can eat the same foods and have a totally different glycemic response. So if one person eats quinoa over here with whatever they want to add to it, protein and fiber, and another person eats quinoa over here, the same meal, the same amount, the same time, same portions, you're going to get two different responses. And the reason for that lies in the gut health. Your gut health is as individual as your fingerprint. So I have seen people that I have worked with, and of course I know that, this is anecdotal. Of course I know, but there's some people that I've worked with, they do great with quinoa. Others, not so much. Finally, in my opinion, someone should not be just solely using the glycemic load of certain foods to determine if something is appropriate for you or not. What you should be doing is looking at the carb content, knowing your carbohydrate sensitivity, and then also working with a registered dietitian to figure out what foods do work for you and do not work for you. Again, just my opinion.